And it's Gordo here from Gordo's Games on behalf of Legion TCGs. So we're back here today with a deck profile. Particular favourite one of mine. The last couple have been particular favourites of mine. I won't bore you with the details, we'll get straight into the profile. But if you do like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you know when this great content goes live for you. And thank you all for your continued support. Let's get into it. Alrighty then, so starting off here, so you'll see some themes which pretty much give the deck away straight away. It is Machinedramon. Most of these cards are pretty generic, but I will go through as to some of the reasons I pick some of them. First of all, Pago. Our eggs don't really mean everyone just running into a black base this one to liven up things like ultimate connection and that. And we are running the Chikuris with this build purely because with this meta, Chikuri can change the tempo of a game immediately. Some decks obviously don't have those additional checks based on sort of the level they're at. So if they're at level 6, they're getting let's say additional check from a direct grade that's underneath it. You take it down a level, it loses any additional checks and potential tempo it's swinging with. Or with Melga in that, just being able to take it down a source, it can massively impact an OTK meta deck. So really good generic card. And there are some circumstances, let's say you're playing against X-Anti. They've done the whole level 7 thing, they've taken out near enough all the sources to gain as much memory back as possible. They swing and they've left no level 3. There's only the egg underneath it. DDG Evolve, that then kills it. Because the right of a DDG Evolve is trash one card from the top of your opponent's Digimon. If it has no Digivolution cards or becomes a level 3 Digimon, you can't trash any more cards. So because if there's no level 3 there, it can't stop that. So it generally goes down to level 2, and a level 2 cannot survive in the battle area. So it has potential chances, and of that is a very rare occasion, but it has happened previously in some testing. Agurumon is our consistency card on play. Trash one Digimon card with Machine or Cyber its traits and draw 2 cards. We just want to filter cards as much as possible. We run 3 Machinedramon, the reason being where this is an OTK meta, if they don't have piercing, just having a blocker there can slow them down massively. Let's say for example Ancient Grey OTK, if they get everything but they don't have a piercing with it, I'll throw one of these down. They're not going to get the value out of the card, they'll swing through this. I will take my 4 play costs blocker any day of the week for that. So yeah, very helpful. Also good against Imperial, stopping the XVs, getting a free swing. And it is 6k, so yeah, Biologimon can't bottom deck it. But taking away the XV swing is enough at that point, because it just changed the tempo slightly. Rather than getting 3 checks in a go, they're only going to get 2. Final one from that, we do run the Gordo as a 4 of. Can't attack, but it is a blocker, 6k body. You may trash one Digimon card with Machine or Cyber its traits in your hand to draw 2. So it's inheritable as the same as a Guru. So that can really help us just cycle more to the point of our hand is set up for the right plays. Now, going off that's here, we also run 8 level 3s, 7 level 4s, 16 level 5s, and 7 level 6s. There is some leeway with some of this at this point. This is what I've been testing, and it seems to be done well so far at this point. But moving into our level 5s, we run 1 Digimon. This Digimon gets 2000 DP on your opponent's turn. This can really help to slow down your opponent from pushing the game. The reason why I think this deck may be an interesting place in this meta, because of how much protection clauses there are for this deck. Don't get me wrong, bounce in this deck can be a problem. So there are flexibility, I'd say, in what kind of options you might want to run. For instance, things like Breath of the Gods could be a vital choice, because it stops your opponent from swinging again if they've already committed to their swing, and it also stops them from bouncing your Digimon. So very helpful. Things like Megadeth, things like Melga, being able to bring things back to your hand, being able to stop that is massive. To go along with all that, we do run Volcanomon, which is why your opponent has on Digimon in play. This Digimon gains security attack +1. Now just for a little bit extra aggression. We run the Angemon, which is on your opponent's turn and gives you a Machine Digimon its traits gains blocker. So it just gives us that point where we can stand nice and just hide behind the Machinedramon. And because of the effective machine, it can block. And let's say if they've got a big Digimon, you do stop their checks. So let's say if they're piercing, because they have to delete a Digimon to go through with their checks. And if you're able to detach 2 level 5s to keep machine alive, they won't happen. Following that from Metal Tyranno at 2 here, this gives your Digimon its traits gains reboot. Quite crucial because you don't want to just leave yourself unsuspended, them to freely swing through your Digimon. And obviously most times you want to have blocker as well. You want to be able to restance, you want to apply pressure and then restance it, act on the defense. Going off the back of that, we do run the Metal Mammy. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less when attacking. It can come up, there are low cost Digimon playing out more and more, so make it the fact of you're building and raising, but you don't want to bring it out. You start building on board. So being able to clean up those things can come up massively. Along with all that, these 3 do have a particular shared Digivolution. So when Digivolving, you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 level 6 Digimon card with machine its traits among them to your hand and trash the remaining cards. Allows us to cycle more and more cards, and potentially fill our hand with our key pieces, things like machine or Shoutmon, for instance. So idealistically, you want to be going, doesn't matter which big one of these here, you could go that to curry into level 4, you could just Farcast the Guru, go into your card, and then go into one of these 3 to try and get as much card advantage as possible. Moving on from there, we run the generic blocker. This is good because it's not specifically machines, for instance, because a lot of all of our level 5s are basically cyborgs. If we get Digivolve, for instance, and we're not at machine or Chaosmon level, don't have blocker, because Angemon's then dead in the water. The Megadramon is your generic, so if they Digivolve you, but you've stacked the Megadramon underneath something, that's still considered as a blocker, which means you can still hold out on a single attack. Going on from that, Metal Greymon. A new addition to the deck from BT9 allows you to attack into unsuspended Digimon. Now the reason I think this is a very key piece is because if we go from this into this, not only can we change the tempo of the game because we're taking out one of their key pieces, they might start missing pieces after that. There's an auction card that allows us to make a lot more use out of this overall. New edition BT9. Similar to that amount Grey went out and its versatility and what it can do. This one has a delete one of your opponent's Digimon with Digimon or Tamer with a play cost of 3 or less. What that means is on Digivolve, so if we go from level 4 to this, you can delete one of their cool boys. And it's going to when attacking, which is the exact same thing. Delete a Digimon or a Tamer because that, so we can repeatedly just keep deleting cool boys. And on and on from that, we do run one of the 3 cable from Metal Grey. Now the reason this is in here is because we've got Machinedramon here, which is only 11k. We have one of these Megadramons which gets off, so we sit there at 13k. If we are able to get these 2 in here, underneath this, for instance, or this, it puts us up to the threshold over here of being 15, 17k, and this one's 16k. So things like your matchups against the Mother D, you can go this, whatever you and this, however you want to go about it, and you can just go ahead and swing straight through their Mother D. And I think that really changes the tempo massively overall. We run a 1 of Metal Grey, which is opponent's Digimon deleted, gain memory. If you have a Tamer play against your memory, if you don't have a Tamer play, you may play 1 red Tamer from your hand without paying its memory cost. We don't run red Tamer, so that doesn't come up, but it does mean it's cost level 5 to play out. So if you wanted to clean up some of the board, you could play this out, on in turn go into a Chaosdramon, immediately then stack some elves underneath to get basically 2 pops out of it. So things like this can play into it as well. There are a few nice little combos that go with it. You've got the Megadramon, which is unpaid to delete 2 of your opponent's Digimon 3000 DP or less. Good against Armor Rush. Outside of that, it helps you pick off their memory stoppers, because memory stoppers destroy this overall. We run 1 of the Metal Greymon Piercing. Here's a machine. so it can get the piercing from it. It can help us push the game a little bit quicker overall by getting that addition that those checks in whilst cleaning up the board. We run 4 Machinedramon and 3 Chaosdramon. Now Machinedramon on play, you may place up to 5 level 5 red or black cards with Cyborg in their traits, and different card numbers from your hand and or trash in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to gain 1 memory for each card place. So we can stack up to 5 there. So I mean, this is most likely becoming a 7-player cost Digimon. Now normally that wouldn't be great on the pure basis that you didn't pass in turn. There's nothing after, unless you was at 7 memory. But even then, you can't really do anything because you've just buried out Digimon. It's got summoning sickness, so we're stuck there, unable to do much. But the great thing about it is that Digimon DB can't be reduced. The Wyvern's Breath, things like that, or any kind of reduction at all don't come into effect with this Digimon. As well as when this Digimon will delete, you may trash 2 level 5 Digimon cards in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent this Digimon being deleted. That's by battle, by card effects, anything of the sort. You just trash 2 sources and then stop the deletion. Only thing it's acceptable to is, like I said, is being bottom deck, return to hand. So things like Breath and the Gods are potential text for the net. I haven't included it on my one because I feel like if I'm running into those too much, they then become a little bit too defensive. It could well change because I was under the consideration of maybe more of a set control kind of list, lower the numbers a little bit, have some more removal pieces, and basically run that way with it. I might bring out a list later now once I've tested a little bit more. Our alternative, your Machinedramon can digivolve into this card in your hand for a memory cost of 1, ignoring this Digimon's Digivolution requirements. So this becomes a 1 cost Evo on top of your machine. And one of the reasons people do run things like Kaiser now, Tidal Wave, and that to try and get more tempo on board by going wider with decks like this. Or like just getting the Machinedramon out from underneath this, gets effect off and gain some memory back and keep turn. It can be very big overall plays. But when digivolving, you may place 1 red or black level 5 card with Cyborg in its traits from your hand or trash on top of this card's Digivolution cards to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Each level 5 card with Cyborg in its traits this Digimon Digivolution cards. So basically you have 2 cards underneath, you're popping 2 6k bodies. Blockers and that aren't so much of a thing, but that's 2 level 4s at least. Each level 5s depending on which ones they are. I know green has some like 2 cost ones, 2 cost Evo ones that are level 5 that are 6k. I think it's the Akuamon, Outranamon, things like that. May not be that relevant, but you know, on the location it can pay off to just pop a level 5 out of nowhere with things like this. Finally, I'll come back to this card in a second because there's a lot of text on it. Run 4 Ultimate Connection. You may trash 1 level 5 card with Cyborg in its traits in your hand to gain 2 memory and draw a card. This can be a Hammer Spark from security if you've got the pieces in hand, or it can just be a way just to extend your turns over. In 4 Analog Youth, we want to get as many things in our hand or in trash as possible, so we're just looking to max out on this as much as we can. And finally, last but not least, one of the cards I do feel allows the deck to play into a point where it's not completely invalid is Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. I'll just read through it for you. You may trash 1 card with Cyborg or Machine in its traits in your hand to have all of your level 6 Digimon with Machine in their traits gain Rush. And on play, if this one has a Digivolution card, Blitz for the turn. So what that basically means, as long as we have the cost to pay for it, so we trash a card, we can then throw down Machinedramon, get all of its traits underneath it, stack all the right things that you want to see underneath it, and it'll have Rush and Blitz. So let's say in an ideal where they've got some bodies you need to take over, or some tamers, we can stack this underneath, stack this underneath, stack this underneath, and let's say Megadrum underneath, and even Metal Greymon here. So what we end up doing is we've got Piercing, we can attack through one of their unsuspended bodies, so we can clear a body of board. We can get rid of a Cool Boy, Akari, a Mimi. We've got Block Art, and then we've got Reboot. And the value that's offered by just being able to get Rush and Blitz can be massive. Could be the difference between winning some games as well, because you could just want to blitz for game. You know, and obviously rush or blitz for game, should I say. It is a win con out of nowhere. There are variations to this deck that can be played in line with, such things as running like the 4-cost blue tamer, running the Kaiser nails, so you can start filtering these from the Shoutmon that, or some of these level 5s out so you can go into another Shoutmon. Things like that can be a phase, but I feel like these two cards put in a hell of a lot of work, and I do think the deck could stand up to a few things. If there was a way to put protection clause in easier the deck, such as the Greymon X Anti, which stops things from being bounced back to hand, being deleted, then that would be great. I've not found a way to make it consistent while trying to do all that, so being able to stop DP reduction and slow down outright deletion, I think can cause a problem this amount. But yeah, that's the deck. If you do like the deck, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you know when this content goes live for you. Overall, if you let me know your thoughts on the deck, if you have any input at all, just leave it in the comments below. I'm always happy to see what people think, and if you do get around to testing the deck, let me know what kind of results you got. If you took it to locals, big event, I'm always intrigued. On my side of things here, Gordo Games, Legion TCG. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by.